Well, hello everybody. This is Corwin Black, and you are listening to my comedy routine, Man's Best Friend. This is part 2. This is intended for mature audiences because there are some naughty words.
Yay!
This is a copyrighted broadcast that is intended for use on YouTube or other similar social media platforms. All of the sound effects in this broadcast are copyrighted by Corwin Black, or they are sourced from a properly certified license of VideoPad Professional by NCH Software. All of the images used in this broadcast are either copyrighted by Corwin Black or the original source was sourced from images that are most definitely in public domain and were altered by Corwin Black and are therefore copyrighted by Corwin Black in their current form. The original source pics are, of course, in public domain and cannot be copyrighted in and of themselves. All music in this broadcast is copyrighted by Corwin Black as a work for hire from Corey Fournier. All rights reserved. Okay then, enough with the bullshit. Let's start the party. So, in the interest of privacy issues, I'm going to call the place that I work at the 5150 Institute of Medical Technology. That way there are no unique patient identifiers. So, if you are an attorney, there are no UPIs. So, as you can see, I'm just naturally gifted at altering the course of anyone who may be on the USS Asshole.
Okay.
However, if there was a genuine asshole, oftentimes all I had to do was just show up. Problem solved. Funny how that works. And occasionally, when you did have a violent, genuine asshole, they didn't call for security. They called for Corwin. Corwin! Corwin! Kinda like that. Now, I only got punched once, and don't ever do that, by the way. It's a felony to punch a healthcare worker, just like it is a felony to punch a cop. However, Captain Fantastic found himself on the bed with me restraining him, and I didn't even pull out the IV. Damn, I'm good. But he did land a pretty good punch right on my lip, because that's how I had to get in there to get him off the nurse and, restrain him so he wouldn't hurt anybody and not pull out the IV in the process. But what really sucked about getting punched was that it didn't even turn black and blue enough for me to put it on Facebook.
Aww.
Man, some days at work just don't work out. I mean, I finally got to throw someone on the bed and restrain him, who actually really deserved it, by the way. He should be thankful that I did not press charges, because it's a felony, because I would never do that to someone who didn't deserve it, because that would make me an asshole. Yeah, the guys who were on security loved me. I mean, when they did call security, they would turn the corner, see me, and go, "Oh, thank God Corwin's here. This will be easy." You see, most of the time, you don't have to do that. You just have to know how to talk to the person. Because the fact of the matter is this person, whomever he or she may be, is genuinely crazy. And I really did not appreciate what that meant until I had to work this job. It was a real eye-opener. So, if the genuinely crazy person threatens to kill themselves, they're not going to threaten to do it. They're just going to do it. Does that make sense? So, when they threaten to kill themselves, I just look at them and say, if you do that, I'm going to have to fill out a lot of paperwork. And that puts me in a really bad mood the next day. Please don't make me fill out paperwork. That works. Because here's the thing. If you have someone who is genuinely nuts, who rambles on for 45 minutes to an hour about how they're going to hunt you down, hunt your family down, hunt your friends down, hunt your pets down, hunt your friends' pets down, random example, then just make sure you have a paperback to pull out, like Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, for example, and say, oh, I'm sorry, man. This was just getting to the good part. What did you say? Now, if anybody ever asked, did anyone ever try to make a break for it? I just smiled and said, not on me. Okay, now here is the tricky one. If anybody ever said, if you don't let me go, I'm going to go crazy, never tell them that they're already crazy. Okay. That is not going to work. Trust me. There's a reason I know this. However, you can say that you're not going to let them go because you are crazier than they are. Funny how that works. Are you guys all having a good time so far? Awesome. Well, that was basically in a nutshell what I did at the 5150 Medical Center. Cool. But I gotta tell you guys something. We're gonna switch gears here a little bit. One of the best things in the world, especially when you've had a job like that, is you come home and you got a really good dog who can't wait to see it. They really are man's best friend. Now, I don't have anything against cats. I'm just allergic to cats. I mean, all a cat has to do is show up and I'm dead, or at least have trouble breathing. Now, dogs aren't for everybody. I get that. But as much as the crazy people are crazy, a good dog is a spring of life and a huge relief. I mean, those little doggies sit and they listen for the harmonics of your engine, and as soon as they hear you coming around the corner, they jump up, they start bouncing around the house like their butt's on fire and knocking shit over. It's awesome. Just don't put the trash cans in a convenient place to knock over. I'm just saying. Before you can even get out of your car and in to the front door. Now that's the kind of friend everybody needs. Now, my dogs are a little biased, but they just want you to know that I am the greatest human in the entire universe. Just ask them, they'll tell you. You know, you don't have to speak dog to see that. You just have to watch how they react. Now, the art of dog ownership goes like this. I call it Corwin's first law of doggy dynamics. Do you remember the first law of asshole dynamics? Well, it's kind of like that, only this is actually fun, because it's a dog. Corwin's first law of doggy dynamics is this. If you treat a dog like he's a dog, he makes a wonderful dog. If you treat your dog like a security system, he makes a terrible dog because he's not a very happy dog. So don't get a dog and throw him in the backyard. They hate that shit. They want to be part of the family. It's a dog. That's how doggies think. Now, Corwin's second law of doggy dynamics actually comes from my grandmother. So this is Corwin's second law of doggy dynamics. If you're going to get a dog, spoil them rotten, because that is what they are for. My grandmother always said that, and she was good at it. So let me tell you why my dogs think that I am the greatest human on the planet. Spoiled rotten dogs get a very comfy bed. My dogs get a king-size bed, and I am very insistent that they get out of my spot when I want to sleep in that bed. Spoiled dogs get canned food instead of dry food. Amateurs. My dogs get canned food once a day, and dry food is left down for them all the time. Small dogs, when they're spoiled rotten, sit on their master's lap and then take a nap. My 65-pound Doberman Pinscher sits on my lap. No joke, he really does. Spoiled dogs get a doggy door, which is actually really good for the humans also, so just get a doggy door. Just do it, trust me. It's a good decision. I have a doggy door in the master bedroom. Okay? Trust me. Just ask my dogs. They'll tell you that I am a very good human. Are you guys all having a good time so far? Awesome. Yeah, things got a little tense there when we were talking about the bouncer stuff at the hospital. Whew, boy. I want to switch gears here a little bit and just talk about this ring I got strung around my neck. Now, this ring belonged to my grandmother, and the story behind this is that when my grandmother was about 78, 79 years old, she got sick. She got the turbo nasty version of the flu that was around that year. She got an E. coli infection, and then she had a medication reaction because she was on so many medications. And she was too sick to live on her own and not sick enough to put in a home. So, because I was the guy that had such a high-paying job, I left my job and nursed her back to health. And she really sprung right up, lived several more years after that. And when she really started feeling good again, she bought this ring, and she wore it all the time. I tell you, watching her with this ring was a little bit like watching a 5-year-old with a toy fire truck. It was awesome. This concludes part 2 of Corwin Black, Man's Best Friend. I hope that you have enjoyed it, and stay tuned for part 3.